Hi guys, here we are for part 2 of the Nether Portal tutorial. Now I'm just quickly showing you this, just I guess to clarify any issues. I've built my portal 49 blocks up to the first step, which is just here. Now it doesn't matter if yours are slightly different to that, but that's what mine is, so that's kind of what I'm going off. Now what we're going to do is put a layer of netherrack around the obsidian of the portal. I think it's kind of good to use blocks that come from the nether, I guess. So I've got netherrack, nether brick fence, quartz, and a few other things that I've used. And next we're going to be doing a layer, just stepping forward one block of polished andesite. And, well, I mean, we all know that doesn't come from the nether, but anyway, I just wanted a contrasting colour to the sort of earthy colours of the netherrack. And then we're going to be putting another layer of netherrack a step forward. And you will notice here that I do actually come back and just take a few blocks away just to make it a little more pointed at the top of the portal. I find sometimes it's actually easier to take blocks away than it is to add. So it's more of a sculptural, I guess, approach maybe, I don't know, but it seems to work quite well. And now we're going to add some nether brick. So this is actually going to go out to the grey outline pretty much. So it's sort of forming like a big picture frame around the portal. I used to be a picture frame and I think sometimes that comes out in my builds. Anyway, so yeah, you're just going to keep building around until you're coming over the top of that actual grey outline. So now we're just going to work on the detail at the top of the portal. I'm just using stone bricks just because I like the look of it, and I will later on go back and just place a few different blocks like mossy stone bricks, cracked stone bricks and that sort of thing, just to give it a bit more texture. So now we're just going to continue the stone bricks around the edge of the portal. This bit here is purely a decorative feature. You could do whatever pattern you wanted to do. This just happens to be one that I've used before. I've used sea lanterns just to space things out, just because when I'm working on a dark block I find it hard to see the edges, so that's the reason why I'm using the lanterns. So you can see here it's quite a simple pattern, but it is very effective. There wasn't a lot of room at the top part of the portal, so I couldn't continue the pattern all the way up to the top. So I've just put single blocks. So I'm just adding one more layer, and that is mossy stone bricks. And it just, I guess, gives that impression of a frame sort of holding the portal. And then it's just time to go back up to the top and finish that little detail. I don't work in any kind of order, so you're probably thinking, well, why didn't I show this sort of in sequence? But I don't work in sequence, so I just tend to do a lot of different things at once, and that way it keeps it from getting too monotonous. So when this fiddly little bit is done, we're pretty much done for the portal itself, and then we go down to the steps. So there you have it. Now you'll find that I did change the steps. If you're actually really observant, you'll see that the portal that I show at the start of the first part is a little different in this area. The reason for that is it was just too complicated to try and do a tutorial on the way that I'd done the steps, so I ended up actually destroying them and starting again. So what you're going to do here is just build a bit of a platform out of quartz. So I come out 5 blocks on the first part, and then I just step it in and come in 1 block but 2 out. Now this part here, I'm kind of wishing that I'd actually come out a few more blocks, because I only come out 2, and I think it would have looked better maybe 3 or 4 blocks out before I put the steps around the outside. Anyway, you can do that however you want to do it. So then you'll just continue on with that platform, and then you'll find the centre. So here I've actually built, so that's 8 blocks wide, that platform that comes out, and then steps on either side. And yours may be slightly different, but it should be quite easy to adjust it. And then you'll just continue stepping down as you go. So these stairs are just going to come straight down. I tried to come up with a design that would cater for any width or height. So eventually we will shape the staircase a little bit just to make it look a little bit more special. So from here you're doing steps straight down, there's no block spacing in between them. And I'll just move that sheep out of the way. So that's the stairs done, just coming straight down, pretty straightforward, but now we give them a little more shape. And this one here is just going to join up along the bottom. And now we're going to give the outside of the stairway some shape. So just working on this feature in between the stairs. I guess it looks a little bit like an altar, I suppose. But yeah, it's just to break up and make the stairs look a bit more interesting. And then we're just going to put a raised area around the outside of the stairs. And then you'll do the same thing on the inside. So just doing a little bit of neatening up in the centre here. And then we'll just build the blocks down to the same level as the altar. Then it's just a floor of quartz. And then I just put a few stairs up the top there. I got a little lazy at this point of the build and ended up just using stone. I didn't want too much of the same thing, so stone seemed like a good choice. You could use vines to dress it up a little bit. I went back and added a couple of extra blocks just at the front of the staircase as well. So now we're virtually there. I mean, this is just a little decorative touch, I suppose, as well. Just a nether brick fence around the outside of the stairway. It just adds a little bit of contrast, I suppose. I haven't done any kind of lighting. I do put some lights in the stairs, but I don't actually have lanterns or anything like that. So I've left it pretty bare because, you know, people like to do their own sort of decorative add-ons. So, yeah. So I like to, you know, sort of leave a fairly blank canvas. You could actually join the fences up too, just so that they kind of look like one fence rather than a whole lot of posts and rails everywhere. But I kind of like that look. So this is the sort of thing I was just talking about, just putting a sea lantern and then a bit of carpet over the top. I'm sure a lot of people do this. It's just an effective way to light an area that's not too in your face. I just realised too that sheep that you can hear in the background in that last bit of talking is actually a real sheep. Yeah, I really didn't think that my microphone would pick those sheep up. This bit here is just a decorative touch again. So just a bit of chiselled quartz just to break up that floor there. So now we are finished. So I hope it was okay to follow. It's always really hard to know with tutorials. You know, I don't know whether it's rubbish or not. I hope it was okay. I hope you didn't have too much trouble, and I really enjoyed that. But I think next time I reckon I might go for something a little more simple. So goodbye from me and our small flock of noisy sheep as well.